Hey y'all, welcome to the filling station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at Tesla, y'all, and I say it so often. Tesla does what Tesla does, right? We closed at 410.04 after coming off of a 430.36 high on yesterday to down to this low. Let's see, where did that low end up at? 402.43. You see it as right kind of at a place we knew we could possibly have trouble, right? So as of now, where are the trouble places for Tesla? We can say support here is around the 412 area, or possibly, let's rephrase that, 413.75 is going to be our support area as of now. Let's say trouble places back to the upside, right? So Tesla, something stopped us here. 416.45, that could be an area of resistance for us back to the upside. Should we break that? 417.54, breaking that level. 419.71 and breaking that. Y'all see the ATR trail and stop is right here at the 422.22 area that we have marked here. I like to see that. Breaking that brings us back to around this level. 425.39, 426.43. We can say that 428.60 and breaking that. 429.99. Now, should we break that area, that 430.36 was yesterday's high, should we break that, we could very well come back to this 430.454. Keep in mind, anything can stop us out in this area here. I say anything is possible right now. Back to the downside, let's say we break under this 412 area. The next level I have marked, 410.01, breaking that level. 407.89, and should we break that, let's say something kept us in this area here around the 406.57. Should we break that, we could possibly come back to 404.80, and breaking that brings us back to the zone that we were trading in prior to this move up here, right? So that was around the 402.54, and if we should break that, 399.17 is within reach for Tesla. Now, if you're trading Tesla, I said often, y'all, trade carefully. Market levels, once it goes against the reason that you got into the trade, get out, right? So under the 399.17 for Tesla today, that 397.16, and breaking that brings us back to the 394.18. So if you are trading Tesla today, I said often, y'all, trade carefully. Why? Because anything is possible. Let's go look at the SPY today just to see where we are. We close at 690.91. It is interesting to see the SPY that's making new highs, right? So as of now, 662.65 is the high for pre-market. Now let's mark some levels back to the downside. Let's see, we have that 662.03 area. Something stopped us there, and then we have this area 661.32. Okay, so back to the upside, we could possibly have trouble getting back above that 662.03 and breaking that level. 662.68 or 662.65 is the high of this candle here. We could possibly have trouble there again. Now back to the downside, breaking this level 661.33, we could come back to the 661.04. Y'all see that is kind of close to that ATR trail and stop. 50 EMA, I like to see that, right? So breaking that level, something held us up or stopped us in this area here around the 660.51. Breaking that brings us back to this level here of 659.63 and breaking that 659.11. Should we break that level 659.11, I have 658.51, 657.59. We can use that 200 EMA as of now. If you're using the moving averages, that 657.32 could be support. Breaking that 656.65 and breaking that level 655.57. Should we break that 654.81 are possible areas of support for the SPY today. I said often, y'all, in this market, anything is possible, right? Nothing is guaranteed. So we are now looking at AMD. We closed at 161.16. As of now, y'all see we're kind of like in this little zone that we have. We knew we could possibly have trouble at that 162 32 area, it seems as if, yeah, 162.32, the high of this candle 162.45, not very far away. So back to the upside, we would need to get back above this area. Let's just use the 162.53. Should we break that 162.72 and breaking that level 163.13? Should we break the 163.13, 163.66 or 163.69 and breaking that level 164.01, 164.32? Those are possible areas of resistance for AMD today. Now let's look to the downside. This level of 161.34 is a level that I have marked as a support area. Should we break that, we can use, y'all see it, that 50 EMA ATR trailing stop and a level that we have marked here at around the 161.02. I like to see that. That to me is a strong area of support for AMD. Now should we break that area, we could possibly come back to 160.75, 160.58, 160.39, 160.24, not very far away. So there's a few layers of support here. 160.07, again at 159.87, and breaking that brings us back to around the 159.52, breaking that 159.18, and should we break that 158.95, breaking that puts us under the 159.11, which is our 200 EMA for AMD, which is this zone that we were trading in here. So if you're trading AMD today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Again, y'all, I say it, not financial advice. So we are now looking at Meta. We closed at 764.70. Where are the trouble places, right? So back to the upside, breaking above, back to the upside, that level here of 768.50. Should we break that level 769.50 and breaking that 770.53, 771.38, 771.93, 773.22, 774.03, breaking that 774.03 brings us back to 775.96, and breaking that puts us back at the 778.43. So if you are trading Meta today, those are possible areas of resistance. Now support, it looks like that 20 EMA on this 30-minute chart is what's holding us up, right? Price came down, bounced from here. Is that a hammer to take us back up? Trade carefully. Why? Because that 5 EMA could be a resistance area for us and keep us, from going higher. So back to the downside, if we lose this area of 767.88, we have 767.11, 766.65, that ATR trailing stop, and a level here at 766.22. That could be a strong area of support for Meta today. Breaking that brings us back to the 765.03. Y'all see that is where our 50 EMA is as of now. I love to see that. Breaking that brings us back to 764.27, 763.50, breaking that level 762.84. Should we break that, 761.69, and breaking that 759.91, breaking that level 758.90, and should we break that level 758.05. So if you are trading Meta today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. And again, I said often, y'all, not financial advice. I'm going to go and look at SOFI just to see. We closed at $27.67. I'm going to mark some levels today. We had a pre-market high of $28.14. However, something has been stopping or holding us in this area. I call it that zone, right? So support is around that 27.90, or it's now our resistance. Let's say that. Why? Because price is under that amount. So technically that 27.86, 27.90 area is a support area for us, right? So back to the upside, we will need to get back above this level here of 28.03. So we're in a kind of like a tight range here, a tight zone here for SOFI. Now, again, we're going to use this 27.86 or the 27.90 as a support area. We can use that 5 EMA as a resistance, or if you want to, again, I look out on a smaller scale, or we can use this level here of 28.03. Breaking the 28.03, we can use that level we just marked, 28.14, could be a rejection area for us. Now, let's look to the downside. Breaking this level here that we just marked, 27.86, we could very well come back to around the 27.70. Why? Because because something stopped us in this area, right? So it was a resistance. It will now be our support, and y'all see it is not far from that ATR trail and stop and the 50 EMA. So this could be in a strong area of support for SOFI. Not financial advice, that 2770 area. However, breaking that, I say often, y'all, market levels of support and resistance. Something stopped us in this area here, 2754. Should we break that? Guess what? Something stopped us again in this, around this area of 2736. Something stopped us in that area, breaking back to the downside. Something held us up or stopped us in this area, 2714. Should we break that level? Let's say something had us at this 2694. So if you're trading SOFI, these are possible areas of support and resistance. Breaking that 2694, I have 2674. We just marked that. I do need to get rid of that, right? So let's move that out of the way now. So those are possible areas of support and resistance, and that's just how I go and mark my levels. I start with my 30-minute chart. I like to look at that, and I try to go back to what I call the gathering spot, or what stopped us in this area. Why? Because it's a strong possibility that we're going to come back to that place again. Just some charting tips, right? So again, y'all, this is what I see when I look at the market. There's so many different ways to trade the market, and I say it often, what's challenging is trying to find the strategy that works best for you, and for you to have the discipline to execute your plan, making sure that you have a plan before going into the trade. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. Again, if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.